Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 30 of Adventures and Mousecapades. Today, we are talking about flux capacitors. Do they actually flux? And what is the capacity?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Exactly.
Actually, what we're talking about this week is a wonderful trip that Alicia and I took back in 2016 that, while we love our kids, we left them here in Seattle and went to Hawaii
Yes.
without them.
Calling this one 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Indeed. Yes, we went island hopping in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
We had about a week in Maui and then a week at Oahu at Aulani, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Yes. And this came about from a prior trip we did to Hawaii that was not Disney related at all. We had gotten flyers, letters in the mail, inviting us to experience some time on Maui with different timeshares.
Yes.
We got a letter from the Westin and a letter from Hyatt.
Yes.
And we did that in March of 2015
Right.
for our 15-year anniversary.
Literally, both of those options were for $800 for 5 nights.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll include like a voucher for rental cars and blah, 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 and all the rest of that stuff. And we're like, okay, we'll go do both of them back to back.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
So while we were at the Westin, they offered us, they basically said, hey, come back next year for a heck ton of points.
Yeah.
And they would give us a heck ton of points.
Yes.
And we would have to pay a minimal amount. It was like dirt cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And we got a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we weren't interested in the timeshare at that time.
Right.
And
well, we told them that we were timeshare shopping.
Yes.
That the original trip, we said that we were going to visit the Westin, and then it's the Westin Kaanapali Ocean Resort Villas, and then the Hyatt Residence Club Maui. And we were very upfront with both of them and said that we were shopping and comparing. And we said we were also shopping and comparing against Disney Vacation Club over at Aulani. Now, technically, we were comparing them.
technically, yes.
We were already DVC owners at the
Yes,
time,
yeah.
but they didn't need to exactly know that.
The reaction, though, when we told them that we were shopping Disney was quite humorous.
Yeah, it was like, oh.
Yeah. Anyhow, we also had DVC points to burn this year, and we're like, why don't we just, double up our trip and go to Maui and Oahu? So that is what we did.
Yep, absolutely. So this week, we're going to talk about Maui. And it's not incredibly Disney related.
It's not Disney related at all.
Well, I mean, okay, fair enough. If you want to get technical about it. But we love Maui.
Yes.
Like, Maui misses us. It has been many years since we've been. I will say, putting together kind of our recollections and looking at the photos from this trip, and we have, 4,000 photos we took from this trip.
It was almost, I think it was like 4,500.
Oh my gosh.
For both Maui and Oahu.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I would say 2/3 of it was from Maui. And
well, the scenery is spectacular.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
We're starting to scheme on how and when we can go back to Maui because, we need to do that again.
We joke that Maui is for us.
Yes.
And Oahu, we will include the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maui's for adults. That is our family rule.
Yep. We flew out on September 19th, 2016.
Yes. This was kind of a dual birthday trip.
Yep.
It was a couple weeks after my birthday and a couple weeks before Alicia's birthday. And my parents, can't remember if they lived out here yet or not. I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
I think they flew out and stayed with the kids through the start of the school year. And I remember my mom just lamenting, like, the soccer practice and the church and the that in church. And it was a lot for them.
It was a lot. Yeah.
Thank you, Mom and Dad,
Yes.
for doing all that for us. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. So yeah, we flew out on Hawaiian Airlines and
Leaving Seattle, rainy Seattle.
yes, en route to beautiful tropical Hawaii. And the one thing I just remember about this trip is the cabin crew. They did like they called it the halfway to Hawaii game, and basically you would submit your guesses as to what time the plane would be halfway to Hawaii. And the captain came on and gave us the total distance that we were flying, the ground speed, and how much tailwind we had. And basically they said the closest person to the result or to the actual time, you get like a gift certificate for, I forget, it was like some chocolate stuff and
Oh yeah, probably Hawaiian chocolate, the macadamia nut chocolate or something.
It was like
stuff. Yeah.
it was at a thing in Lahaina.
Got it.
I remember that. And anyhow, so me being the person I am, I busted out with Excel and started doing all sorts of math, and I came within, my recollection is correct, I came within like 15 seconds of the actual answer. But they announced that some other person was the winner. And so I remember like ringing the thing and like going like, what was their guess? Like, how close were they? And they're like, oh, they were only like 4.5 minutes off. I'm like, I was accurate within 15 seconds. Like, oh, well, you went over. Like, you were like
Closest without going
like,
over.
nobody said this was Wheel of Fortune rules. And so we actually got another prize. We got the same prize out of it because I was like, you got to disclose that. I mean, I was halfway serious and halfway joking about,
They knew you were joking.
Yeah, I mean, I said it all with a smile, but I do appreciate Hawaiian Airlines coughing up my rightly earned gift certificate to whatever place that was in Lahaina.
That we don't even remember.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Anywho.
We also have a picture of the airplane's audio offerings.
Yeah.
And on channel 13 was Hawaii's pure EDM, which just sounds weird.
I mean, we both really like Hawaiian kind of that style of music, but I am struggling to this day to figure out what EDM looks like or sounds like in a Hawaiian style. But hey, sure, why not? We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have another great picture. So one of the things you need to understand about Alicia is that she is she was born to be a tester. She would have been a wonderful test engineer at Microsoft. She has the ability to blue screen or crash or find a bug on pretty much anything she touches. She's banned from touching numerous pieces of technology here at the house.
Yes.
And so we got off the airplane, and the nearest, I think it was like the like what carousel your luggage is going to be on, like that screen had like whatever computer that was attached to it blue screened and had the blue screen picture on it. I'm like, oh gosh, it's following us. Thank you for not blue screening the flight computers.
You've heard of green thumb. I have blue thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll look at a computer and it'll blue screen.
The thumb of death.
Which is weird because I'm fairly tech savvy.
Yeah.
Computers just don't like me.
No.
Watches die on my hand.
Yes. The other kind of travel trouble we had, if you will, was...
I don't know if this is travel trouble. It's just not what we were expecting.
Yeah, we got like upgraded to, like we had rented a convertible and they upgraded us to like a Mercedes SLK Roadster, which neither of us are complaining about.
No, that was awesome.
However, it has like, you might be able to fit a lounge fly bag in the trunk.
Yes.
Like,
Not known for their trunk space.
No.
And we were packing for 2 weeks
Right.
in Hawaii.
Right.
So we had too much luggage for this vehicle.
Yes. So, and we were with Hertz, and to their credit, they were amazing. And they're like, oh, well, tell you what, why don't you take this Infinity, was it like
SUV.
SUV, like a QX90, like
Yeah.
the biggest thing ever. And you take that for the night. And we were talking with them, and they were saying, like, you know, asking what we're going to do. And they were trying to figure out what they can do about it. And we said, oh, we're going to go do
Haleakala. Yeah.
sunrise at Haleakala the next morning. They're like, perfect. Swing by after you're done with that. We'll give you the Roadster. And so that's what we did.
Yep.
So shout out to Hertz. That was a really, really cool thing.
Yep.
And then at the end of the trip, they swapped us back out again. Actually, I think it was over to a QX90 again or something else big, so we could get back to the airport with our luggage.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool. Like,
That's
I
right. Yeah.
really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And we both absolutely loved driving a Mercedes Roadster
Yes,
convertible
that's a lot of
around the
fun.
island. It was awesome.
Yeah. After we got our Infinity car,
Yeah.
we went over to the Westin in Ka'anapali.
Yep.
And were given our room, went into our room, and were promptly disappointed.
Yes. Yeah, it was so,
I don't know how to put it other than that.
it was the worst room possible in the resort.
I think it was.
And it was, I mean, technically it was a garden view, but it had off of the deck, off of the porch or lanai, was a 4.5, maybe 5 foot tall, and no, I'm not exaggerating,
It was tall.
concrete wall.
Just a flat wall. There's no slats to look through when you go on a lanai or a balcony or a veranda,
Yep.
whatever you would like to call it. We're in Hawaii, so it's a lanai.
It's a lanai.
You usually have a view or a railing or something that you can
Something.
see through.
Right, and this was like,
This was a tall wall.
and it was supposedly looking out like over the grounds of the resort and then out to the water beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sat down in a chair, you couldn't see over the wall.
It was just a wall.
You couldn't even see the top of the palm tree that was planted 20 feet away from
Yeah.
the room. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
And it wasn't like Nathan was saying, it was a tall wall.
Mhm.
I mean,
We were
not
both
happy
very
with that.
disappointed.
Yeah.
We've seen some stuff online since that other people in our situation who are not yet owners, who have responded to their quote unquote generous offer and all the rest of these things, to come back and visit, because, and I'll remind you, they're trying to get us to spend $50,000 or $100,000 on timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
They usually give those people the worst, this room.
Which doesn't make sense to
No.
me. If they're trying to get you to buy in, do not give your people a room that they're not going to like.
I don't understand
Yeah.
why these rooms, and there's like 4 or maybe 6 of them. There's a few on either side of the lobby,
Yeah.
but like the next floor up. I don't know why they're not offices. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
This wasn't an ADA room, was it? Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah, no, but it was so bad.
Yeah.
And so, like, it had been a long day of travel. I had to fight for my gift certificate on the plane.
You didn't want to talk to them. You were gonna blow a gasket if you went down and talked to them.
I was pissed off.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like it had, like Hertz made us whole, but
Yeah.
that took like an hour
Yeah.
to get the car all sorted out and all the rest of stuff. Like, and then this to be dropped with this, like I was really upset.
My skills of persuasion and diplomacy weren't great either. And I went down to talk with them and see what we could do, what they could do.
Yeah,
And They weren't able to switch us that night. They could switch us the next day, but we had to pay.
Yeah.
We had to pay quite a bit extra if we wanted a different room.
Yeah, we basically had to double the cost of that trip.
Yeah. And, it was I don't care where it is. It doesn't have to look out on
The ocean.
the ocean. We would like to be able to see the grounds of some sort. And the only thing they had available was an ocean view.
Yeah.
For the remainder of our trip, which I thought was a crock. I think they just wanted us to spend extra money.
Yeah.
And we did. We were not going to be happy in that room because we like to sit on the lanai and just enjoy time and read and just enjoy the experience.
When we go to Hawaii, we spend whole days doing nothing.
Yeah.
But sitting out on the porch and reading. Like, that's our jam.
Me with my red hair and fair skin, I cannot sit out in the sun for longer than a half hour.
Right.
So I need shaded spots.
Right.
Yeah. So we upgraded at a higher cost.
Needless to say, this whole fiasco, even if we weren't DVC owners already,
it turned us off right away.
And I will say, I mean, again, this was at the Westin Kaanapali Ocean Resort Villas.
It's a gorgeous area.
It's a gorgeous area. Now, the previous year, 18 months prior, when we had done the two, like the Westin Kaanapali Ocean Resort Villas and the Hyatt Residence Club Maui. And we didn't talk about this trip previously because it didn't have anything to do with Disney.
That's true.
But I will give the Hyatt Residence Club in Maui a shout out.
Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous.
It was stunning.
It's amazing.
It was beautiful. If I didn't own it DVC,
we would have gotten there. I really think.
And I think we halfway considered buying in anyway, even though we did already own it DVC. It was stunning.
Yeah. And the people were great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are in the market, this is. I am not personally trying to sell you a timeshare. However, if you have already find yourself in the market and you're interested in Hawaii, I highly recommend taking a look. Yeah, we recommend taking a look at the Hyatt Residence Club in Maui.
It was beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Anyway, that evening, our first evening there, we had a nice dinner. Yeah. At Pulehu at the Westin, and it's an Italian grill. Pulehu means grilled in Hawaiian. Mm-hmm. And Hawaii provided an absolutely stunning sunset for us this evening. The purples, pinks, and blues were just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I will admit, we haven't been the greatest of late of making sure we get back and post stuff on socials. No. We will redouble our efforts here because these pictures are gorgeous.
It's Hawaii. It's beautiful.
And frankly, we're going to have trouble picking just a few.
A bunch of pictures. Yeah.
So
because we were used to Seattle time, we figured the best time to go to Haleakala and go watch a sunrise would be the day after we got into Hawaii.
Right.
Because even though it's, 3 a.m, Hawaii time, we're used to it being 6 a.m. Because you kind of have to get up at 3 a.m. if you want to go up to sunrise or to Haleakala, right?
Especially if you're staying over at Kaanapali, because you're kind of on the opposite end of the island, and you've got a hour and a half drive to get over to the volcano or the extinct volcano and make the drive up, and then you want to get there before the sun obviously starts coming up.
Yes. So we actually should say what Haleakala is. You kind of did, but yeah.
Haleakala is a giant shield volcano that makes up basically the eastern 2/3 of the island of Maui. It is just a stunningly breathtaking landscape to behold.
Yep.
And it is incredibly popular to go and watch the sunrise on the top of Haleakala. Mm-hmm. You can literally drive your car all the way up to the top.
Yes.
And they have lots of parking, and you and several hundred of your newly closest friends will be huddled there in the cold and the wind, waiting for the sun to rise.
So this was our second time going to Haleakala for sunrise. The first time
From the previous trip, yeah.
was our previous trip, and it was cloudy.
Yeah.
We did not see a sunrise. It just got brighter.
So after all that,
Yeah.
that was
That
unfortunate.
long trip up. Yeah. So we wanted to try it again.
But this was amazing.
This one was amazing. We did get the beautiful sunrise. There were not many clouds out, and what was there was nicely impacted by the sun.
Yeah, beautifully clouded, and it was. This is one of the reasons I want to go back to Hawaii.
Yeah,
it
was such a gorgeous experience.
Yep.
And when we were there, we could see a bunch of smoke that looked like clouds.
Oh yeah, and it turns out that kind of in the saddle of the island between Maui is kind of made up of two extinct volcanoes. There's Haleakala, that's much more recent on the eastern side, and again that's about 2/3 of the island. And then on the western side is a very old volcano, or kind of set of volcanoes that's it's largely eroded. Like it's just turned into crags and peaks and stuff like that. And then in the middle between those two is this saddle, and there's a lot of farmland and everything in there. And we saw this, it looked like this storm, and then we bubbling up in the middle of the island. That looks weird. And then we took a closer look, and we're like, oh, there's a fire down there. And it turned out it was a sugarcane field that was purposely set on fire.
Yep.
They're burning off the extra detritus after the harvest and everything. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was really weird to see this pyrocumulus cloud, which unfortunately we're all kind of familiar with these days from seeing forest fires and things like that, and you see these giant towering, looks like a thunderhead, but it's caused because of the fire. Well, we saw that coming out of the middle of the island, and
we were above it.
We were above it because the top of Haleakala is tall. Yeah, Haleakala is literally 10,000 feet, it was just. It was really cool.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And of course, when we're up there, we get to talking with people that are there. And somebody had mentioned going at sunset.
Yeah.
Rather than sunrise. Or they had asked.
Did we hear that we heard that from a local.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was while we were there for sunrise. I think that may have been in over the course of the week, or when we went and had breakfast or something like that.
Okay.
And we heard that from somebody else, and they recommended, hey, you should think about sunset. Yeah, so we tried sunset later on in the week, and we will get there.
Yes.
And in the meantime, after sunrise came up, and we went back down the mountain, which is an adventure in itself.
Yes.
And driving down that hill. We swapped out our rental car for the little Mercedes SLK Roadster, and then we had breakfast at the Kula Lodge. And holy cow, y'all, when you're on Maui, go do sunrise if you want, just do your thing. But down a little ways off of the road, a little south of the main road there, look up the Kula Lodge, go have breakfast.
It was good.
Oh,
yep.
Holy cow. Incredible food.
We did a nice little drive down the southeast side of
Yep.
Maui, the remainder of that day.
Yep.
Just beautiful scenery,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
Through lava fields and out along the water, and it's so relaxing.
Yeah.
And there's nobody there. There were a couple other people hiking or walking on the trails or whatnot. There are very few cars. You cannot actually drive all the way around Maui on the east side. There's a bunch that, I think there's a dirt road And all of the rental car agreements are like in big, bold red letters, like you will not drive your rental car on a dirt road. So it's very clear that we were not making it all the way around.
Yes.
Basically, if you could go all the way around, or you basically link up with the road to Hana, and you can go back around the north side of Haleakala along the shoreline.
I don't think we did Hana this time. I
No,
think
we
did
didn't.
it the first time.
We did.
I actually got a little car sick from that. Yep. We did a lot of driving on this trip just to see the scenery. I mean, Hawaii is, I'm going to say it so many times, Hawaii is gorgeous. Just the colors and the contrast between the dark lava and the greenery and the ocean is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, we have so many pictures from just this day. And I know we had a GoPro hooked to the front of the car.
Yeah.
Just taking video while we were driving.
Yeah, we do like time lapses and stuff.
I have no idea where that is.
It's somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah. We've done that a lot. We've done a lot of GoPro videos, and not all of them have been published.
Nope.
Oh well.
That's okay.
It is.
It's
fun
just something
to
to have.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. We'll find them someday.
We'll find him someday.
But yeah, this whole we love just going out and driving and exploring, and yeah, that's what we did.
That's
on
what
this
we
day.
did.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That was day 1 in Maui.
Yep.
Day 2, we started out the day having breakfast at Lahaina, which we like Lahaina a lot too. And we had breakfast at the Pioneer Inn Grill and Bar.
Yep.
We've gone there before, and we will go there again. It is delicious.
Again, a fantastic breakfast plate. It's basically at the Best Western that's right down there in Lahaina, next to the banyan tree. That whole, and that banyan tree, holy cow. Yeah. It's like this whole city block of just this giant tree. It's so cool. It's so cool.
It is. So the tree was planted in 1873.
Yeah.
And it is humongous.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I don't know when it is. I know it's multiple times a week they have like a market at the banyan tree.
Yep.
It's really cool to see.
It is. And they have, if you don't know, a banyan tree basically just kind of sprouts out laterally and has multiple trunks. And you think, oh, it's a bunch of different trees. No, it's all one organism. It's the banyan tree complex. Like it's just one thing. It's really cool.
Yep.
And lots of shade, which is great in a tropical kind of environment.
After breakfast, we drove out to the lava fields at Ahihi Kunal Natural Reserve.
Yeah. Basically, it's if you look it up on the map, if you don't know how to spell that, it's La Perouse Bay. It's kind of the south side of Haleakala, of the eastern side. So kind of like the drive that we had done the day before went a lot farther east. This drive, we went down to the coast, and oh man, we hiked a bunch.
We did
through the fields.
Novox hiking. Imagine
That's right.
that.
Now it's worth saying it's flat.
Yes, a bit rocky.
It is rocky,
but flat. Yes,
it's lava-y.
It's lava-y.
Yes, but it's flat. We didn't have to hike up and down. We just hiked over, and but it was stunning. All the blowholes, and we saw a bunch of surfers out, and we hiked a fair bit. Like we hiked like almost like 3/4 of the way around the bay, and took probably 1,000 pictures.
I don't doubt it. I mean, you've got the brilliant blue ocean, the white surf, the dark black lava rocks in the middle of these white sandy beaches with this greenery all around it, just the pops of color everywhere.
We were going through the pictures earlier today and going like, why don't we have these as like desktop backgrounds? We need to go harvest this photo album.
They're really pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. It ended up raining on us a little bit on our way kind of back towards the car, but it wasn't too
it wasn't
it was just
too
a
bad.
passing shower. It wasn't
But walking along that trail was great. We, like you said, we saw the natural blowholes out there. I know I spent a bit of time taking pictures, trying to time it so I could get it right when the blowhole is popping up. It was really neat. And Nathan and I were reminiscing a little earlier today about we had a nice Nikon camera with us for this trip.
Yep.
I don't know what Nikon it is, but it's a nice camera. It has a big ass camera case that we bring along with it. There's different lenses we can switch out and everything.
Yep.
And we just don't use that anymore because our phones, the technology has gotten so good that you can get comparable pictures with the phones.
It's amazing how much things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Nikon D5100.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we will use that camera much more at all. Like Nikon actually just announced that they're getting out of the digital SLR business altogether. They're all only going to do their mirrorless stuff. So I don't know. This isn't a tech podcast, so we digress.
But there is something to say for having a camera like that in your hands.
Oh yeah.
To take a picture and be able to really frame it.
Yeah. Like
the right way.
I don't care what phone you have. You don't have an optical or even a digital zoom that is going to compare to a 300 millimeter telephoto lens on the end of a really nice camera body. It's just not going to happen.
Needless to say, we got some pretty kick-ass pictures from this.
Yeah, we did.
That evening, we had dinner at the Plantation House restaurant at Kapalua Golf Club.
Oh, this was stunning.
Somebody recommended this place to us, right?
Yeah, and we were just like, that seems too like fancy, and we're like, no, okay, we went anyway, and it was amazing. No, and they took really good care of us.
They did.
They took really good care of us. I think driving up in an SLK Roadster helped.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but like this golf course is like they do a PGA event every year there, and we had dinner right at sunset. We had this amazing table. The food was incredible.
It was very good. Of course, we got steak and potatoes because that's what we do.
Duh. But it was, and it didn't cost that much.
No, we were expecting it a lot. We don't have a picture of the bill or anything, but I do remember we were expecting this to be a lot more than it was.
Yeah, I want to say it was. I'm going to be wrong, but I want to say, it was a couple drinks and entrees and whatnot. I think we spent like $120 to $150, and I think we were both expecting this to be a $200 to $300 meal. In terms of quality and experience, this was a $200 or $300 meal. It was fantastic. So give it a shot if you're in the area. Highly recommended. Yeah. The Plantation House restaurant at Kapalua Golf.
That's still going, right?
Yeah, that hasn't folded from the pandemic. Unlike the restaurant that we went to the following night, but we'll get there.
Like right now, we'll get there, right?
Yeah, I guess that'll be right now. So the next day, day 3 on Maui, we had breakfast out on our lanai, on our upgraded room that we had to pay twice as much for. We have this funny ass picture of Alicia. Evidently likes her tea really strong. She has like 6 or 7 tea bags.
That's just because I had multiple cups of tea.
Yes, I think that was from both of us.
Yes.
Yeah. We had been sitting out there for a few hours drinking tea, and
I just put them all in.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. Again, we just go sit and read and
relax.
Enjoy the outside and in the shade and just relax. I think the other one of the other vices that we have, or I guess I have when we're in Hawaii, is we'll have the TV on, not infrequently, and it's it's usually on the surfing channel.
Yes.
never watched surfing except for when we're in Hawaii. It just fits.
Yep.
It's fun. And that's so cool. Like,
It's fun to watch.
it's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I think that probably stems from the trip before. We stumbled across that channel, and when we were on Maui North Shore, they had a big surfing competition. That, again, this is the year before, but we stumbled across this big, huge surfing competition, and we watched, like, I think it was like the finals or something like that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It was phenomenal to see all these people and perched up on the cliff and everything. It was cool.
Yeah.
So anyhow, if you visit us when we're in Hawaii, join us on the lanai for some tea, bring a book, and the surfing channel will be on in the living room.
That evening, we went to another restaurant that was recommended to us.
Yes.
Called the Mill House at the Maui Tropical Plantation.
One of the... No, I'm not. I'm going to go more declarative than that. This was the finest restaurant location and the best meal I think we have ever had.
Yes, I think I'd agree with you on that.
It was amazing.
We were speechless going into this location.
Yeah. It sits kind of in the saddle between the two volcanoes. It's over on the western-ish side, and you end up sitting and having dinner outside on this beautiful patio with this gorgeous view of the sunset through this old, jagged, extinct volcano, and it's just so lush and green, and all of the food that you have comes from the land right there.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It was phenomenal. And we were looking at these pictures and I'm like, I want to look up the menu and all that stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So we looked it up, and the Mill House is not the Mill House anymore.
No.
They were a victim of the pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic killed them. They closed permanently in June of 2020.
Yep. So the Mill House is not there anymore. There is another restaurant that is there.
Yes.
Cafe Olei, O''Lei,
right,
is at that location now.
And it seems to be very similar in vibe and quality from what we can see on the website. So when we go back to Maui, we'll visit Cafe Olei and, we'll give you the lowdown.
Yes, this was an amazing experience.
It was stunning. And they had this garden you could walk through after dinner that was just so beautifully lit with different colors and statues. And that experience was top notch.
Yeah, there's other things that are there in that area. There's the restaurant. It says like a tram station. There's a coffee house. There's a soap factory.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff.
And other stuff too, as well as the restaurant.
Right.
So it's at the Maui, what's it called? The Maui Tropical Plantation area has other stuff too.
Yep. Yeah, it was, you gotta go.
That was so good.
You've gotta go. It was incredible.
It was just beautiful too.
Yep. The next day, day 4, we got up kind of early. And we had seen from our room folks doing these outrigger canoe trips. And we looked into it and scheduled one.
Yep. I think we had gone down for lunch probably the day before.
Right.
They have like a food truck area, or not a food truck area. They have at the Westin a beachside luncheon area.
Yeah,
and
there's like a bar down there and a little restaurant.
The bar there is like the food truck. It has attached food truck to it. And we saw the outriggers over there.
Yeah. And we went over it and talked to the group, and they said, we can actually take you out tomorrow. We have a hole in our schedule. So we went and did that, and that was so amazingly.
It was a lot of fun. I've never done anything like that before.
No.
I mean, I've gone canoeing.
Right.
And I've gone kayaking.
But this was different.
But this was on the ocean.
This was on the ocean, and we went pretty far out. Yeah. We actually got from Kanapali, we got about halfway north up to Kapalua along the coast, and then came back. We saw tons of like sea turtles and all sorts of stuff. If you're interested, the company was Maui Paddle Sports.
Yep.
Just those folks were incredible.
They
We
were
had
nice,
a
yeah.
great time. So it was Alicia and us in an outrigger canoe, and then there was two guides with us, one in front and one in back. And it was fun. It felt
Yeah.
like it was our own little personal experience.
Yep.
And Alicia and I, you know, we get to talking with people and just we just have this knack. It's just really weird because we're just introverts, but we have this knack for building almost an instant rapport
Yep.
with people. And, you know, they really it felt like we got a special experience about that. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we got the experience that everybody else did, but they made us feel special. They made it
Yes.
feel unique. And that's all I really care about.
It was a nice trip. I liked that.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. The next day on day 5 is when we went to go do sunset at Haleakala. And it was, night and day difference from the experience
Yeah.
on sunrise. On sunrise, you get up there and it's cold, like it's in the 50s. It's blowing a good 20, 25 mile an hour. It's just, and there's hundreds of people there. There's like the parking lots are full. You get up there for sunset. There's like, instead of 300 cars, there's like 30 cars.
Yep.
You have the run of the place. You can do whatever you want. It was really cool. There was a group, I'd never even thought of this, that they did a stargazing tour. So you could ride up in their van, and they probably had like a 15-inch or a 18-inch telescope sitting there in the parking lot. That, you know, they were gonna do stargazing after pitch black. And so Alicia and I hiked up to the very top of the mountain, and we brought our nice camera and a tripod and just enjoyed the sunset. And then we just sat and we waited for it to become pitch dark. And like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this.
Yeah.
Like the Milky Way comes out, and there is nothing between you and the stars. And we did a bunch of like time-lapse photography, long exposure photography. And I remember playing around to get like, you know, a little bit of the rocks in the frame, but then like lots of the stars in the Milky Way. And it was just like, it was almost like a spiritual experience.
It was gorgeous.
It was just amazing. And it was warm, and it wasn't windy.
Yes.
And it was perfect.
Yeah, and we were still on Haleakala. We were still on the mountain part. We were not in the parking lot. I think the group that was there was in the parking lot.
Right. We stayed up on the top.
We stayed up to the top, and we got to an area of the mountain that basically blocked out the view of the island and the lights on the island. So,
and there's not a lot of lights from the island.
No.
But yeah, we had,
Yeah. I remember like laying back on some of the rocks and just looking straight up.
Yeah.
It was awe-inspiring.
Yeah. Like you can reach out and touch the stuff. Like it was so present and yet so big and ginormous. Like you felt big and small at the same time.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, I knew it was going to be pretty, but like I said, this was just awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
It was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen.
Yeah. And the really cool thing is, you know, you drive back down the mountain. Of course, it's always already pitch black and dark. And to get back to Kaanapali, you've got to drive back through the saddle of Maui between the two volcanoes, and you basically get out to the coast and take a right and go north, and you go through this other like area where there's
no lights,
there's nothing, and so you're driving and you have this looming black mass of this volcano on one side, and the ocean on the other, and then the Milky Way's right in your face. Like I think we stopped like 2 or 3 times
just
at
to
pullouts along the way back, just on
Yep.
the side of the road.
It was gorgeous.
I want to do that again. I want to do that again so bad. So bad.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yep. Next day, day 6, we just kind of chillaxed. We didn't really do too much anything. Again, a lot more reading and hanging out. Hertz swapped us back over to a mini school bus. It would seem a luxury mini school bus.
Luxury mini
because they were taking care of us, so we could get back to the airport the next day. And that kind of concluded our time on Maui. I think that was the last time we were on Maui too.
Yeah.
We got to fix that.
Yep, we'll get there again.
We have to fix that. And then, so day 7 was a travel day for us. And we island hopped.
We island hopped to Oahu for our Aulani stop.
Exactly. And that's where we're going to leave you off. Cliffhanger. More epic Hawaii stuff happening.
What happens next?
Oh, no. Yeah, so if you want to experience Maui like we experienced Maui, go find these places that we've talked about. Maui is just incredible. You've got to go. And the best way to do that is to work with a travel agent who you can tell them what you're after, what you're looking for, and they can help really craft that vacation experience that is right for you.
If you have any questions or suggestions, send us an email to podcast@adventuresandmousecapades.com and follow us on social media @OurMousecapades. Please take a second, rate and review in your podcast app to help people find us. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.